Hello and welcome back to Factory Town. In our last episode, we finished setting up all the jewelry, and we are kind of starving out on pretty much everything because it requires a lot of mining, and there aren't that many resources without prospecting, and prospecting doesn't yield that much. So, as we talked about in the last episode, we're gonna have to figure something else out for jewelry. But we are doing pretty well on happiness, all told. We have exceeded 3,000, which is good. Well, we did. It might go back up again. There it goes. Almost. So that bumped us to the next level, to level 25, when we're over 3,000, which is good. We get to the next level after that at 3,500. So that's going to be a little bit of work. The other thing we did in the last episode is we set up this cactus fruit plant here with the... they call prickly pear plants? Yeah, I think that's what they are. They're not calling them here, but I think that's what they are. I'm surprised those are working. Wait a minute. No. Interesting. I thought that the growing didn't work when the farm wasn't on the ground, but apparently it does. Because it's all on supports here. Anyway, so I started looking at some of the recipes last night as I record this, and for the tavern here, and some of these are quite huge. Especially, well, I guess really, honestly, sandwich is the one that's huge. So sandwich requires bread, cheese, and cooked chicken. We need to be able to get to 2 sandwiches per second into this store. So that means we need, of course, 2 bread, 2 cheese, and 2 chicken per second. And that's going to require a rather extensive setup. Unfortunately, none of this stuff is available, via trade, as far as I could tell. So we're going to have to make all this, which means we're going to need a nice big flat area to make it all. And we don't really have one left. We might be able to... no. I think we're going to have to... So I think we're going to have to shave off the mountain, or maybe fill in... like in this area, make it a nice big flat area, because we're going to need, let's see, 1, 2, plus 6, 8, 9, 10 farms total. So some of them, though, are going to have only a handful of farm tiles, so we may be able to make them work, kind of sharing farm tiles. We'll have to see how that ends up setting up, but we're gonna need a nice large area for that. I mean, this isn't bad here though. If we cleared out some of the resources here, this isn't bad. We might be able to make this island here, or this peninsula here, work, but we're kind of running out of flat land. But the good news is, as I said, that's really the only one that needs a huge amount of space. The next recipe in the list here, and I'm just going to kind of go through the ones that I've done the math on. I didn't quite get them all done yet, but the next one here is fish stew, and fish stew needs enough space for like 5 farms, but 4 of those farms rather are sharing 68 farm tiles. So we may be able to make them, basically take up the space of 2 farms together, or something along that line, which is also what I was thinking for the sandwich. But a fish stew also needs to be built next to the coastline someplace so that we can bring in fish. So, like, this area here might be okay for it somewhere, because it's going to have to be near the water. And then I keep moving around and clicking around and then jumping back. Meat stew is also going to need eventually 2 cooked beef per second, which is, I think, the same amount of beef that we had being made. Yes, the same amount of beef we had being made for the beef going directly into the food market. But it fortunately is we're going to actually be able to make improvements because we didn't build that design for elemental boosting, but we can build for elemental boosting this time. It's going to need also it's going to need a few farms also, but I think it'll be okay. So then next is jam, and I was looking because there is cactus jam, and then there's the other fruit jams, and the other fruit jams, interesting, that one shows up as a trading post, take the fruit. I think it's 4 of each fruit. And sugar. I think it's 1 sugar per second to make 1 jam per second. And we need 2 jams, of course. But the cactus fruit actually has a different recipe. It takes less fruit, but also takes pear juice, which is kind of a weird thing to think if you think about it a little bit. But it makes the setup a little bit bigger because you need to plant the trees for the pear juice and such. But it'd be interesting, I think, perhaps to do anyway. Down in this area here, we have this corner of the desert that we kind of set up for cactus fruit already. So we could just make that a little bit bigger. Maybe plant the pear trees up here on the hill and roll the pears down the hill on a chute. And make the setup. It's going to be a little bit more complicated of a setup than just a regular jam, but it might be worth it. However, there's an alternative. At one of these trading posts, that's not a trading post. This one, we could trade cooked chicken for 5 jam, and I think at another one, there's another trade that was really Veggie Stew for 5 jam, and it just so happens we have to make Veggie Stew anyway. So, Veggie Stew is next on the list, and it's actually the last one that I've done the math on. Veggie Stew is interesting because it needs 2 of each veggie, so tomato, potato, and carrot to make 2 Veggie Stew per second. And to make those veggies really does not take that much space at all. I need like 11 farm tiles of each. So if I'm clever, I can put all 3 farms together, or perhaps... No, I want them separate because of the worker equivalency thing. But I could put all 3 farms together, maybe even, rip up what's left. Oh, there's actually some carrots right here. Rip up what's left here and make my 2 Veggie Stew per second. And actually just kick that up a notch a little bit and make enough to do this trade and just make apple jam instead. And I think that might actually be worth it. Just kind of for the fun of it. Because... Jeez, oh, peas, I'm gonna cough here in a second. I'm like choking on dry air or something. Okay, sorry. We only need 2 jam per second. So we only need 2/5 of this. So we only need 2/5 of a Veggie Stew. So that's 0.4 Veggie Stews per second. So instead of making 2 Veggie Stew per second, we only have to make 2.4. Which, if we look at the recipe for Veggie Stew, let's put down a kitchen. We'll just put it right in here someplace. It's down near the bottom. If we look at the recipe for that, my plan was to have 2 of these kitchens steam boosted, and that would make exactly 2. If instead I do 2 fire boosted kitchens, that'll produce 4 by the speed bonus, 8 when you add the fire boost. That's 8 divided by 6 is 1.33, which means we're making 2.66 Veggie Stew per second if I have 2 of these. So that's more than enough to trade for jam and then also sell it. So I think that's actually perhaps the best option for jam is to trade to make just extra Veggie Stew, because I already have to set up 3 farms, 11 farm tiles for each veggie to make 2. To add another 0.4 or 0.66 for that matter, you're adding another 7 farm tiles, so you have 18 farm tiles for each veggie. I think that's worth it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start with those 2. We'll start with the veggies, making the Veggie Stew and then trading it here for the jam. I did want to talk a little bit about what else is available out here in trades, though. There are a few places where we can trade sugar for pears. I think there's 3 of them. That one there, and maybe there's only 2. This one we could trade grain for berries, so that would be useful for jam as well, or pears for berries, which would be useful for jam. But I think I like the recipe we have. And then the other option here would be to grow wood and trade it for apples to make jam out of the apples. But I think the best bet is going to be just making a little bit of extra veggie stew and then trading it. So we'll over the next few episodes, we're going to do the veggie stew starting now. We'll also make the meat stew and the fish stew in some place. I'm not sure where to make the meat stew other than to also flatten off part of something like we're going to do with the sandwiches, because we're also going to make the sandwiches. And then finally, we have a couple more recipes to finish up that I have to do the math on yet. Well, technically, I guess I've already done the math on the cheese. The berry cake and the apple pie. I haven't done the math on the math on the apple pie recipe yet, but the berry cake recipe is the one I've been looking at for a long time, trading gold for berry cakes here. Now that I know the way that gold works, that might not be the best option anymore. So it might be worth doing some trading. And I see that, making this directly instead of trading for it. We'll have to see. I haven't done the math, as I said. But we could, since this makes apple jam, and the berry cake inexplicably needs apple jam. I guess I could just go to the recipe itself, but should need berry jam if you ask me. But since the berry cake needs apple jam, or just generic jam, but whatever, we might be able to set that up also in this area and boost our production a little bit more of the veggie stew. Trade a little bit more for the apple jam. Actually, we're going to have a surplus anyway. And see about maybe making the berry cake out here on this peninsula. And then it may be worth it. I won't know until I do the math, though. And then the final thing we have to do is the apple pie. And I'll do that one. It probably isn't that bad. Flour, sugar, butter, and apples. Probably isn't that bad to set up. The other thing is the cheese is, I already have the math done for that because you need cheese for the sandwich. And so 2 cheese per second is, and maybe we even just double up the cheese setup for the sandwiches and just export half the cheese directly to the train station and to make it all in the same place. But this is the 6 of those farms that the sandwich needed. So it may not be space-wise the best idea, but I think I'm just going to have to get there and see. But enough rambling by Wally. Let's look at setting up the farms and stuff that we need here for veggie stew. So let's take out, that's fine. Take out all this stuff that's here, and also this that's here. We can bring this hill down a little bit, flatten it up. I need to delete the kitchen here. Okay, you go out this way. There we go. Alright. And then we need to set up 3 farms. So let's go farm. And like I said, I really could jam these right up next to each other. Kind of. Like, I could make one of them here. Maybe even right up next to each other. Directly right up next to each other. Because we could do farm tiles, and I had them all selected already. So we're going to need, let's see, if I wanted to make, instead of making 2 of each veggie, if I wanted to make 2.4 of each veggie, because we need 2/5 of a veggie stew here. So I would need, because we need 2 apple jam. But then again, we're going to be cooking enough for 2.66. So maybe I'll just do the math on 2.66 of each veggie. 2.67. Let's do 2.67 divided by, and all the veggies are the same, 0.1905. That means I need 14 farm tiles of each. So, or a little over 14. So we'll call it 15. And if I did those 12 plus maybe 16 even for one veggie, and then we did these 12 like this, and then like this. We're gonna need fertilizer in here too. Oh goody. I think this will work. So let's do, let's settle the recipes first here. Carrot. Thank you, autosave. Potato. And then tomato. And you can be carrot. Do 16 of you. And then potato, I think, was next. I hope was next. Double checking, yeah. Potato. And then tomato. Spelled correctly. If my sound is fading in and out, my microphone is being derpy again. See if I can fix it quickly. Okay, I think I fixed it. So we need to have, I think probably just one well each. I think I'll do one here, and one here for the middle one. Go to the fluid pipe overlay. Now that we have fluid pipes made again, get 200, that's a few. We're just gonna go like that, and then like this. And that should work, and then we'll bring in the fertilizer via the train station. So I'm going to take all these carrots out that are here, just so they're not in my way. And then we just need two kitchens that are, whatchamacallit, boosted. Maybe we'll do them like this. No. How do I want to do this? I didn't think about this part. With the spaghetti of the chutes. I think I want them to be directly across from the middle one. No, I do not. I want them to be forward of the middle one by one space. Because then I can take I'm going to pause, well, actually it doesn't matter. I'm going to take a chute out this way for this one. And then I can elevate this chute here and come out this way for that one. And I should have put a splitter in there first. Splitter. Or fire boosted kitchens. Did I say air boosted kitchens? Put that there too. We fire boosted kitchen because they cook things. These are veggie stew. And we also need fuel in here, by the way. So we're going to just do the oh, I better make sure I can fit that in too. The fire crystals. Maybe I should just set up the fire boost on these while I have the crystals out here. Let's see. Where can I sneak the fire or the magma in at? I can't sneak it in the front. I may have to kind of go up and over and tuck it in, like weirdly, but I think I can pull that off. Because I think I can just do something like this. And then take a belt down in like that. And I think that'll connect. I think that'll work. One way to find out is to put a grabber here. And it doesn't complain, so that means it works. Even though the belt's backwards, the grabber would complain because it was too high. And I can demonstrate that by doing this. Because it can't link there. So, yeah. Coming down on the slope is fine. Now I just need to figure out how to get up there, or how I want to get up there with the stuff. Okay, and then we'll put the train station in this general area here. Maybe I'll even poke it out here over the water a little. Well, actually, hold on. Yeah, that'll be fine. We'll put it here. Because there's a couple of advantages to putting it here anyway. The first off is, of course, having the outputs of these. And with they're 1 per second. No, they're over 1 per second each because we boosted them higher. This is a metal belt. That's what I want. They're like 1 1/3 each. So we'll do that. We're going to fire boost these as mentioned a few times. And then we're going to have to do... And I should probably just go ahead and... Well, maybe. Fire shrine. One of them here for the boosting. And then we'll put the other one over maybe further away. Because we're going to have to get these belts. Maybe even do it like that. That might work. Come down this way. Put it there. That'll work. And then this one goes there, and that one goes there. Splitter again. Kind of funny, but it works. Kind of whatever works. Magma for this one. Transmit fire boost for this one. So let's make sure we have enough fuel in one. I should have done that math earlier. We're going to need 2.67 times 8. Or sorry, 2.67 times 2 fuel per second. So that's 5 1/3. And then you divide that by 8 for the magma, and it's less than 1. So we're good to go there. I can probably unpause now. And then we'll do a recharger. And that'll be here. And we're going to also need them here. And I'm out of mana bricks already. This will give us the advantage of figuring out, helping to figure out how much time the fire boost adds to a building, which will be good to know because I don't know that one. How am I going to do this sneakiness though? I already upgraded these. I think I'm going to have to set this up like further away. Yeah, I'm going to set it further away and then move it when it's full of the crystals. Which is kind of weird, but I'll make it work. Let's start... Man, the fire crystals are so far away, though. And I deleted that pipe. Yeah, okay. So we're going to need like 40 of these. Let's do some measurement here. That is 19, so it's probably more like 18 crystals. So let's go like 42 minus 18 or maybe 17. 25-ish. Add a couple more. Like that. And then once that's done moving, reverse 1. And then I can bring this down. Across. And across. And we're out. Oh, it went pretty far. Pretty close to it. Alright, let's do that. And then I'm going to clear some of these out. Zoom in further. And then if it turns out that I do want to do that berry cake recipe using the trades from this jam, also I can figure out how much we're going to need, which I guess I could actually look at the recipe and figure out how much we'll need now. But I could look at how much we're going to need, and then I could go from there with the and add enough more, or we could just do it somewhere else, even if it's still a trade, but do it somewhere else. Okay, so you're going to come in here, and then we need to do some drawing here. I'm going to take this one out 2 that way, come back over there. Same drawing as we always do, same design as we always do. I think it works out well. I'm interested if anyone has another design that they've been using for these recharger loops like this. Is this one going to be the same? I didn't even look. Excuse me. 1 second. Yes. Okay, good. And then this is going to come out by 2. And then I'm going to have to flip this around once I get this set up. That'll be fine. Okay. So let's see. You're going to go in. Going to come across here. And go into there. And then you can go into there. And I don't know where we're at as far as halvesies here. Or I could have way too many also. But I did add a couple extra tiles. We'll see. Oh, I forgot the splitters. Splitters. There. There and there. There, there, and there. And you only have 17. So hopefully you have more. Oh, I forgot to do... Well, it's fine. It's backed up now. Forgot to disable that so that it didn't output onto it. But I guess I need to do a grabber here. And set it for magma only. Okay, good. I was like, where are they? 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 5. That's fine. Maybe I'll put it on this one. Because if we need extra, it'll be over here, not over here. Because this is only, we're going to use like half of this or whatever of it. Whatever the math was that I did. So now I need to change this all around. Oh, I didn't do... Oopsie. I didn't do that. Good thing I didn't need it. Move this over here. Now it's linked to 2 kitchens. And look, they just started glowing. Glowing. Oh, it's even got all the veggies in there except for the tomatoes. Because I didn't link the tomato shoot yet. Well, shoot. I'll do that later. Well, not super later, but you know what I mean. Let's see. Take these out here. Change this around here. You come out this way. Go into there. There. There and there. Splitter here. Here and here. And these go like this. And I don't understand why the one gets stuck there all the time. I think I'm going to have to delete it. Unless I can... Oh, I can. Okay. Sneaky, sneaky. There we go. Alright, so they've boosted everything. Yep. And we got fuel going. Yep. So now we just need to hook up that last chute. So let's go here, there. Come out to there. Delete. There and there. And then splitter goes here. And we're now making veggie stew. Let's veggie stew this and this. And what else is coming out of here that we know of? Jam. I think it was apple jam. And then we're going to have fertilizer coming in here. And the rest of these are disabled for now until we decide if and when we need that berry cake. So I think what I want to do... I think we're just going to use belts for this. We need to ship, was it 0.4? So a cloth belt should be perfectly fine here. This one can go, maybe right there. And then coming back, yeah, that works. And coming back will be a metal belt because that's, oh, oopsie. More per second. Okay, so you are just veggie stew. And you are going to be just apple jam. I did have it right. Excellent. Alright, so the good news is there's 2.67 per second coming out of these two combined. But this can only take 1 per second. So no matter what, we'll still be stockpiling it here as long as it's still cooking. Let's bring a train over here. And let's bring that train via maybe right around in here somewhere. Actually, that's a really good spot. Something like that. And then I want to do this bit here, like we always do. No, we want rails here. Not chutes. Not ladders. It's rails. There, and then we'll come down to that point and also come down to this point. So I need to come out a little bit further. I'm going to go a little bit past, kind of like I often do. And we're going to have to do this in pieces. Okay. We'll come down here. A few. Make our turn. Come back down a few more. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do either. Come out here. And then we can come down this way. That's fine. But I think we might be able to pull this one off. Nope, we can't. Unless we just go out one more, which we can. Like that. Why won't you let me delete the foundation there? Okay, whatever. I don't care. And that'll work. We'll make this just make a cap on this one, at least for now. We can always make a change to it later. This is going to cut across, although it wouldn't really matter if it didn't. All right. It's being picky because of the underside there. That one goes in there. And then here we need to have a turn coming this way. And we need to have a turn going that way. So we're going to do a sorter here. Pause. That's why I did this. That train stops right there. And this is going to be Veggie Stew and apple jam. Copy. To there. We're also going to dump fertilizer in here too. Apple jam, Veggie Stew. That can go there. And this is fertilizer. Actually, I need to add to this fertilizer. We also need to be creative with this because the fertilizer train needs to come back from this way and make a right turn here. Fertilizer goes here. So we'll have to do something squiggly like we've done before, because I can't force it here. I have to force it back one. Otherwise it messes with the train. Vertical, top down. Maybe. Maybe. There. And then there. And then there. It won't let the train pass through, that is. Unless maybe I use pushers instead of sorters. But that might cause other problems. So I'm not going to do it. And then fertilizer goes there now. That just pushes it, sorts it to come this way. And then it's going to come this way and deliver it down here. We have that set up already, so next time that train comes around, it can do its delivery. This will be an elevated thing here with a chute, pause, even though hopefully it wouldn't be needed. It wouldn't have been needed. Excellent. Unpause. I have to come out one further than I normally do here. But that's fine because of that well there. That'll work, and that will eventually work. There we go. Fertilizer. Not a fertilizer, just fertilizer. There and there. And that should be more than enough fertilizer. Actually, probably don't even need the 2 slots, but that's fine. We have jam getting jammed in here. We have issues with our veggie stew. Tomato issues. Why are tomatoes an issue? Because they're still growing? Yeah, they have a low yield. And the fertilizer would help a little. I'm assuming I did the math correctly on all of that. There's a fertilizer. That'll help. They're lighting up now. Okay. That increases the yield. Eventually, we're going to get a yield of 48 for all of these once we get the affinity maxed out, which makes sense. Because at 1.1, +50. plus 100 plus 50. That's plus 200, so that's 12 times 4 is 48. Yeah, okay. So that'll work. All three of these plants have, well, not all three of them. The carrots and potatoes have the same benefits from the same stuff, but the tomatoes benefit more from water and less from the farm tile than the other two do, which is interesting. They're kind of swapped. And here come the tomatoes again, so we'll get them going eventually. And I see this thing is lasering away. I'm gonna have to try and watch this and try and count how many seconds. The problem is we're not producing at high speed, so it's gonna be a little tough to see. But we should be able to use this one or use the milk that we set up a long time ago over there that we're trading for reinforced planks, I think, to do that math. So I think we can set up a train here now for this. I did also need to finish setting up. See, veggie stew and jam, I'm assuming isn't a pipeable thing, although I didn't actually check. It'd be kind of funny if it was. Well, it wouldn't go in there anyway if it was. It would go in tank car. But I'm guessing it's not. It's not. Okay. This will be veggie stew, as will this one. This will be apple jam, as will this one. And then we need to add apple jam and veggie stew to this sorter here as well. Unpause, thank you. And then they're going to come all the way down to here. Yes. Okay. We don't quite have enough veggie stew, but we did trade most of it away for jam, so it'll be fine. Okay, train's heading back now. We got... Oh, we did fill it up, barely. That's good. And so now we took 100 of the jam, so the jam's gonna steal as much veggie stew as it can to make some more. But it's fine. It should balance out in the end. And then we're going to make sure they come in here. Oh, somebody did not set this up. I guess we need to set this up. See, we start out with sandwich and then fish stew. Sandwich. Fish stew. And then I think next was meat stew. And then apple jam, veggie stew. Apple jam, veggie stew, and then cheese, berry cake, and apple pie. Cheese, berry cake, and apple pie. Okay. That rail might actually be a problem. Might be a problem. It's going to be in the way to do this at least, so I need to move it out of the way for right now. I can set up the stuff here. Let's see. I want to have metal belts. 1, 2, 3. We need 8 items coming in from this station, so we're going to go here for the 8th one, or the 7th one. And I think, yeah, this rail's going to be a problem, so I'm going to have to reconfigure this rail a little bit. The whole thing out. Because we're going to have to come out from the side here and into there. Like that. Let's do sandwich. Fish stew, I think, was next. I can't even remember now. Yeah, meat stew. And then apple jam. And then do a second layer. Then we do these, and we do that again. Then we do grabbers again. And then after apple jam is veggie stew, cheese. Berry cake. And apple pie. Okay, so what I want to do, I think, with this rail is just move it out by one more. Just come out here like that. Then I can probably bring this out a few more spaces. Ooh, I have a crazy idea. Do it like this. Come down that far. Make her turn. And then do that. And I think for this one, because there's only one stop, I can just set this to be the same category, which is the gourmet category. Unpause, which is the same as we have set here. Yeah. And where's my train at? Not you. You're here? No. Here? Yes. Train jam. I may end up making this even bigger. I might have to. Here we go. Made the turn. Excellent. Unloading. Excellent, excellent. Selling. Even more excellent. Alright, so that accomplishes what I intended to accomplish today, which was setting up 2 foods, which is good. And we're a little over time, but it was obviously an important thing to finish. So, so I think we're going to leave this here for now. And in the next episode, we'll take a look at some more of the gourmet food. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.